Hello, so today I'm gonna talk about my research project I worked on this entire semester with Dr. Manal. I named my research project The Interpretation of Grammatical Gender Among English Monolingual Speakers. So in today's presentation, I'm gonna be talking about these four sections of my research paper: the introduction, the method, the results, and the discussion. So in before I start talking about the introduction, I just wanted to define what a grammatical gender is in case some of you might not know what it means. Grammatical gender is just a way to subdivide words in languages. Um, it differs between languages, and you know, grammatical gender is just a it makes learning words easier for people that speak that language, and it kind of brings words to life. And for example, the word bus in English, it's just a gender neutral noun, right? But in Spanish, the word bus is autobus, and it's a feminine noun. And the same case is for Portuguese, but in Portuguese, it's actually a masculine noun, sorry, autocarro. So you see, it's like the same word, but in different languages, it comes to life differently. Uh, I chose this topic because I'm very passionate about languages. I love them, and I just thought it would be interesting to see how people that only speak English understood what grammatical gender is and how they would assign grammatical gender to nouns. That's one of my research questions, and then the second one was I just was curious about if they would choose the masculine gender to most nouns they would assign the grammatical gender to. I thought that would also be pretty interesting. Um, so in this slide, I just talked about some of my, I had more references, but uh, I had, I just wanted to talk about these two because I think they're the most interesting. Uh, for example, in the study conducted in 2007, they found that uh, grammatical gender had like an impact in sentence interpretation. The participants in this study were newborns, Spanish speakers, and they found that whenever they would see sentences, these newborns would see sentences that had congruent grammatical gender, like two words with feminine grammatical gender, they would understand the sentence faster than the uh, just a sentence that had a masculine feminine gender. So I don't know, that's interesting. And then the other one I had is a lot of studies, especially in South American countries, people, some researchers have been trying to figure out if there's an impact uh, that grammatical gender has in people's perspectives, especially in the workplace or in kids' minds, because like I said, grammatical gender brings life to nouns, and depending on what gender it has, what division it has, how it that life is different. So grammatical gender can in fact promote sexism. At least that's what these researchers had found. um, but yeah, that would be it for my references or introduction section. Um, so for my research, I designed a Qualtrics survey. I had some sort of questionnaire where, like I said, the participants would have to assign a gender to 10 different nouns. These nouns were all gender neutral. Um, I try to, by the gender neutral, I mean, I wouldn't choose words like kid, or kin, because they can have like sexual connotation, as in, they would have a biological sex. So it confusing for participants to assign a gender to those nouns, right? So, all of these are just gender neutral nouns in the English language. And I had two different versions because I didn't want to be biased myself. I wanted for them to, have 50-50% of chance of getting one version or the other one. One version had the feminine gender as the first option, and the other one had the masculine gender as the first option. The sample size was 113, and 86 of them were women and 24 were men. 106 people were European American out of 113, so it was not very diverse. And then people that took the survey were predominantly white, young. Mostly because I used the Lindenwood participant pool as one of the main sources of participants. Like that's, I also posted the link on my social media, and most of my friends are young as well, but there were some outliers. There was a participant that was 73 years old. I do not know how that person got my survey, but I'm glad he did. Uh, but anyways, that's why the mean is a bit different, because he took the survey. And some other people, there was a 50-year-old woman, so yeah, I use Excel and SPSS to conduct these descriptive statistics, just to tell you all these interesting facts about my sample. And then I also conducted a chi-square, which I'll talk about in the next slide. Basically to just find out if participants would assign the masculine gender um, at a greater than chance, meaning if it would have a higher score than just 5. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about it in the next slide. So I was able to reject the null hypothesis with in my study, because most participants assigned masculine. It differed from chance, the results from the chi-square. So here I made this little board so you can actually see. So words like shovel or helmet and what's the other one, boomerang, they were pretty high. Out of 113 people, 104 thought shovel was a masculine noun. And these are people that only speak English, that did not know what grammatical gender was. Because I didn't want people to, bilingual speakers to take the survey, because they would be biased themselves, right? Because I am bilingual, and I know grammatical gender. And for me, I think in Spanish whenever I hear nouns, right? So I didn't want that to happen. But words like mirror, I kind of had a drawing here. Oh my God. Same as lamp, because these are words that were considered mostly feminine. Only 9 people thought mirror was a masculine noun. So interesting. But yeah, I'll talk about those things in this slide. So like I said, I was able to reject the null hypothesis, which is pretty nice. As a researcher, that's all you want. But so the study had a lot of implications, right? In my discussion, I talked about how, these findings meant a lot of things, right? Going back to what I just said, the participants found words that were, are mostly considered, like rough, like shovel and boomerang. It's like, man, men normally use these tools, so it was normal to see that happening, in my opinion. And then, but words like tent, it was, why. Okay, I'm gonna go actually back to that slide, because words like tent is the very gender neutral noun, right? It's, you don't either associate it with masculine or feminine, because it's a tent. So the fact that it was 86 out of 113 at 76%, it means that, and participants might have just chose masculine whenever they were undecided, right? Which is interesting. Why would that be the default? But that's just the speculations. I'm not, I don't hold any truth about what they did. That's what I think happened. But air, something that is, uh, you know, also gender neutral, was also associated with feminine mostly. So it can go either way around. It can either go either way. Sorry. Uh, so yeah, interesting details. And then I think my implications in this study can be associated with what I said at the beginning of this presentation. I think there was some sexist tendencies in the participants whenever they were making decisions. And I also wanted to talk about the study limitations. My sample was very, it cannot be generalized because it was predominantly just European Americans that are young college students, so that's, although the implications are nice and I had a lot of fun doing the study, I think it's safe to say that, the studies cannot, the implicate that the results cannot be generalized to the public because, I didn't have many cohorts, both in age or ethnicity and race. So, and that's mostly my advice for future researchers that want to, continue on this field, which is, not many people want to, but it's just to kind of have a better sample. And so, yeah, I think I'm running out of time. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it and as much as I did. So thank you.